Hi guys, so in this video I want to talk about the Magnus ToadX 3-click, and I'm also going to change out the magnets inside to a different setup. Now the reason why I'm talking about this slider in particular is because this really was the slider that taught me what a decent free-floating slider should be. Now I got into fidgets sort of on a big time scale around about January 2022, but what with things going on in life in general, I kind of dropped off the radar around about summer. I had my Louty shuffle and I was quite happy with that, so I had to spend money on other things and be an adult and all that kind of stuff. I got back into it pretty much January, February this year. And my collection has just exploded from there. But realised that a friend in the States, who I'd known for quite a while, was also into fidgets quite a lot, and she really recommended that I try Magnus. Now I was aware of Magnus last year, and I kind of always wanted a Toad, but I just never thought I'd be able to afford it. The price bracket. I mean, you've got to laugh now because I've got a wraps now, but anyway, things change. And Magnus was running the ToadX 3-click pre-order for quite a while. I mean, I'm not entirely sure without looking, but he might even still be running it at the time of this video. So I think a big determining factor in me finally getting one was also the fact that it was readily available. So I think I got it within about 5 or 6 days. It's really good quick shipping. And I think right from the get-go, I was just in love with it. And I was like, this is what I've been missing. So the ToadX is just beautiful. It's awesome. So without further ado, so I keep it in this case. This case I designed and made for it. I think that goes to show just how much I love it. So mine's looking pretty battle scarred now. He was making them with more polish than I would particularly prefer, but he's the maker, he can decide what he does. And really it's not actually all that slippery, it just shows marks and scratches more. And these scratches are just from general use. I take very good care of my things, and yeah, it's just from use. I think the only incident I had is I accidentally dropped half on the floor once, and I can't actually find it now. Oh, there it is. So it just has a tiny little nick just there, and that was the extent of the damage. So I think it just goes to show how solid these things are and how well made. I got them with Teflon plates initially, but so the same friend who sort of persuaded me to get Magnus sent me a Zerk plate, a very generous gift, so that I could try mixed, and I can't go back now. I love mixed. I've now also taken the tape off completely. So I used to run tape at least on one side, on the Zerk side. But since owning my wrapped, I have to say I've found that, compared to the wrapped, the Magnuses started feeling a little bit on the weak side. Just a little bit, not super weak, but I was getting a bit like, oh no, I've got to change something. So the tape wasn't helping in that aspect, so I took the tape off. There's nothing wrong with using tape, I'll just say that, okay? So yeah, mixed plates, definitely my go-to. I did get Zerk plates on both sides when I got the Toad, and I didn't like that. In my unboxing video, I found it too sharp a snap, but I just put a Teflon plate in half of it, and that solved the problem for me. So personal preference, I like mixed. Anyway, right when I opened this, I just fell in love with it. It's beautifully machined. It wasn't actually the design I always wanted. I always wanted the Toad. I have the Toad now, but this was readily available, and I thought, you know what, sod it, I'll get it. Now these lines are not sharp. They are so beautifully finished that it's almost like a worry stone in and of itself. And you know, when people are around and I don't really want to be making noise, annoying people, or drawing attention to myself, sometimes I will just use it like a worry stone. It's fantastic for that as well. So, and it's a great slider. I actually find it a bit too quiet now, funnily enough. The snaps are really good, but I'll explain what I mean. So the wrapped, they're going to want to stick together, right? Since getting the wrapped, I've barely been able to put this down. This has been like glued to my hand. Now I changed out the inserts in this to aluminium hybrids and then rubber spacers because I wanted to try the crackle sound. Now I've watched pretty much all of Zachary Butcher's videos over on Fidget Nerd, and I will link down in the description below. They're just an excellent resource for wraps and fidgets in general. I really recommend watching his channel. When I saw his video about making a king crab, so a Magnus king crab crackle, I didn't like the sound. I thought, oh, I'll never do that. I'll never do that to my Magnuses. But I have to say, since I did this to my wrapped, I love it. I love the sound. It's just amazing. So I started to think about that video and thinking, I want to do that to, you know, one of my Magnus sliders. I'm going to try it out. I already had some N52s that I'd already bought as well to do a hybrid setup. So I just hadn't done anything with them yet. So yesterday I did a hybrid setup with the Toad. Now what I mean by hybrid is N52s in the corners, because it's a 2x4 layout, and just the normal standard magnets that they come with, which I think are maybe N45s, I'm not sure, in the middle. So mimicking a hybrid setup a bit like the wrapped. And I took the O-rings out. Now again, this is something that I got from Zachary Butcher's video on the king crab, is if you take the O-rings out on the inside, you can get a crackly sound. And oh my god, I love it. I was so happy, and changing it to a hybrid setup as well makes it just so zippy. So, you know, I just thought, yeah, I'm going with this going forward. And initially I didn't want to change out my ToadX. I wanted to leave it kind of as is, but it's not as fun anymore, quite frankly. You know, it's quite quiet when you move it, whereas this, it's crackly and clicky, and it's just awesome. And yeah, it tends to move quicker because I think with those stronger magnets in the corners, it just wants to flip around to those corners. So yeah, I have to change this, and I thought I'd do it as a video. And okay, so let's have a look. So I have got under here a steel plate. So again, this has been talked about in Zachary Butcher's videos about how to take sliders apart without magnets going everywhere and without magnets getting chipped and broken, whatever. You need a steel plate that, you know, will be magnetic. So they are actually stuck. I've just put a piece of kitchen towel on there just so that it's not scratching up my lovely fidgets. Ah, I got stuck. Right. Okay. So it's a T8 ToadX for Magnus sliders. I think it's a T6 ToadX for the wrapped. So obviously make sure you've got the right ToadX. So I'm going to start with the Zerk plate. Now what I do is, in fact, I'll do it like this so you can see. Take the screw out. don't lose them. Do this, you know, do it on a tray so you don't lose stuff. Is once the screw's out, hold it down and then put it back together with the other half. Put the other half down, put the whole thing down, and just literally just lift the plate off. Simple as that. So as you can see, oh, I've got a little bit of Loctite in there. I'll talk about the Loctite in a minute. So there's O-rings in there, and I'm just going to get a little bit to get them out. So the O-rings just, you know, take up the extra space so that you don't get any sound. You know, you don't get that crackle sound, but honestly, I love the crackle sound, so they're coming out. And I'll store them away somewhere safe. So the rest of them are a bit stuck on here. Now I can't zoom this in really successfully, so there we go. So that's that. And that is still stuck on there, and I think I should be able to lift it off actually, yeah. So there we go. Because you've got the other side attracting the magnets, they will stay on there. And that's what you want. You don't want them going everywhere and chipping and stuff like that, and they will. And also you want them the right orientation. So I've just got, so in a little baggie, these are the N45s that I took out of this slider, out of the Toad. So I'm literally, the best way to get magnets off, and I'll try and lift it up and do it this way, is slap the magnet down and push away or pull away. So you want to slide the magnet off if you can. Right, there we go. Very gently, because these can chip so easily. God, crap. There we go. So there's another one. It will be easier if I just put it down, to be honest, but there we go. And I kind of cover the other magnets while I do so as well with my fingers, just so that they don't jump, because they do have a tendency to do that. So there we go. We've still got the ones in the middle. We're literally just going to be changing the corners. So put them aside for now, because I'll need those in a minute. So these are my N52s. I bought them off eBay from a UK seller, and they're the same size. I can't remember off the top of my head what size they are. So literally, again, they're going to go down and going to slide off. So obviously, if you've got it around the wrong way, you're going to get it's not going to go down. You know, you're going to get resistance. So I'm getting resistance there; it won't go down. And this is why it's important to keep it on top of the other side. So you always do one side at a time. And literally, I use my nail, slide off, easy peasy. Again, magnet's gone in, just slide off within the bar, and again, slide off, slide off, and there we go. There's the N52s in. So I've taken the O-rings out. I'm not going to put them back in. Obviously, if you wanted to put them back in, it'd be better off putting it this side, because they do kind of stick in. And then literally just put that side back on, holding it together as soon as you can, because obviously we haven't got the screw in yet. Slide it off. So there we go. That's the one we haven't done yet. Hold it down, and then literally, where did I put that screw? There it is. Put the screw back in, and then we're going to tighten it up. Now, I don't know about other people, but I'm not going to do it right now because it would take too long. I don't want to make this video any longer than it needs to be. I have to put Loctite on the screws before I put them back in, because I found when I initially got this plate from my friend, the screw just kept working its way loose. I would prefer, personally, his Zerk plates to have, you know, two screws or even three, like the Teflon, just so that it's a little bit more secure. Some people probably would disagree with me on that, and I completely get it, but I don't really like having to put blue Loctite on this, but it's not the end of the world. So there we go. So that's one half done. And we got a little bit of crackle. And you can see it's already zipping around quite quick. But I am going to do the other side because I like things being balanced and symmetry. You know, I don't want odd sides. Speaking of odd sides, though, is I think if you watch Zachary Butcher's video on the King Crab, he does a different kind of hybrid setup, and I think that's having N52s all on one side and then N45s, so the standard ones, all on the other. So that's another thing to try. Oh, my cat's appeared. She's a sweetie. She's very needy. She loves attention, and I've been asleep off shift, she's been snuggled up with me, and now I'm awake. It's like, you know, my attention should be 100% focused on her. I know, sweetheart. I know. In a minute. Right, so she's very vocal. I apologise. So here we go. So I've taken the screws out of the Teflon, so we're going to do the same again. Slap that one down on the one we've just done. And just simply pull that off. So there we go, you can see where the O-rings are. So let's just take the O-rings off of there. She's going to climb onto my desk in a minute. Unless she gets bored. So there we go, I'm going to carefully get those out because I don't want to damage the O-rings. Get those out. And I'm having to work fast now because she will not leave me alone. Will you, darling, hey? Good girl. So, take those out using the magnets we've already got as an aid. Oh, I got them off easier that time, probably because it's on Teflon and not on Zerk. Actually, to be honest, they've just come off just like that, so maybe it's the Zerk. I don't know. Right, okay, so N52s, and literally, like, I'm going to block these ones with my thumb so that I'm not getting stuck onto those, because these are strong magnets and it happens. So again, slide off. Ah, there we go. See, strong magnets, it's attracted to the one I've just put down, and I wasn't paying attention. So I'm distracted by the cat now. So there we go. Flip it around. Actually, let's do this one first. Yep. And off. There we go, I've got 4 left. There we go. So N52s in the corners, standard in the middle. And literally going to put the plate back on, so I've taken all the O-rings out. And carefully, as soon as you get, you know, one slide along, hold that plate down. And put the screws back in. So the Loctite I'm just going to do on my own later. I'm not going to do it in a video. You know, you don't need to see Loctite being put on screws. That's quite boring. Because she's purring away. She has food and everything she needs. It's just my attention she hasn't got right now. Oh. Sorry if this hasn't been in focus for a lot of stuff. I'm doing a lot of moving around. I know, darling. Hang on. There we go. So that's secured. Crackle. Oh, I love it. So zippy. So here we go. Oh, she's pouring at my back now, so. There we go. So it's just awesome. Oh, I love this setup. It's, yeah, I just love the crackle. And it just wants to fly onto those corners, which I love. So for me, that's just made Magnus sliders just infinitely better, almost on a par with the Modus Works Wrapped. You know, I mean, that is still my ultimate favourite. I love it to pieces, but you know, I love my ToadX. Okay, bye.